Nigga, I was bagging groceries.
Bro, I tried to get a job
I went from bagging groceries to working at this place called H&M.
Before Playboi Carti would invent music.
Yeah, he did. You're not going to get any debate from me on that. He literally invented music. He was there at the dawn of rhythm, the chromatic scale, tonality in general.
Before Carti would have a standout verse on Tyler the Creator's album Igor with what he did on Earthquake. Before Carti would buy a crib for his mama off that mumbling-ish.
That's real life, and it's off the dome. Cause when it's real, you don't have to think about it. It's just natural.
Before Carti's Die Lit would be considered one of the best albums of last year by critics, and some fans online are even calling it the best album ever.
It's like, I just want my name to hold weight, you know? Like, I just want to be respect. I just need that respect, you know? That's it.
Before he would date Iggy Azalea, who would buy him a Lambo.
Merry Christmas!
Only for Playboi Carti to break up with her a few days later, but of course, Carti kept the wheels. And before he would have over 3.3 million followers on Instagram and close to 1 million on Twitter, Carti has slowly become a legend.
The drip is inside you, it's not, you know what I mean, it's within you. It's not about what you wear, it's how you hold yourself.
Carti is on top and has a lot of success right now, but he didn't wake up like this. It's been a long time coming. Before he would pull up in a foreign and put some mileage on his Lambo in the middle of the summer, he was a broke boy with his Stummy Hurtin looking for crumbs, hoping to one day flex in a new location. Playboi Carti went from working at H&M to modeling some of the biggest fashion brands in the world. How did he do it? Well, you clicked on the right video. What's going on, good people in the comment section? Hit that like button if you caught all of the song references in that intro. My name is Jeremy Hecht. I hope you're having one heck of a day, and if you're new here, I'm the LA host for this channel. If you know though, shout out to my toilet gang. Today I'll be your host, taking you through an updated version of the life and career of Playboi Carti. Recently I've done an update on A Boogie and YG, so check those out after you're finished watching this one. And let us know who you want us to document next, as always, in the comments down below. But before we start, I've got a trivia question for all of you fans out there. Who are the only 2 people that Carti lets critique his music? I'll answer that at the end of the video, as well as probably a lot of the other questions you have. All right, let's get into the show. Jordan Terrell Carter, aka Sir Cartier, aka Cash Carti, aka the J Electronica of mumble rap, was born in Atlanta, Georgia on September 13, 1996, which is the exact same day that Tupac died. If that doesn't already make him a legend, then I don't know what would. He grew up in the suburb of Riverdale, and not the one from the TV series.
I dropped out in the 4th grade to run drugs to support my nana.
The neighborhood is just south of the Atlanta airport and has a population of over 15,000 people, but it was number 9 on a list of the top 10 worst suburbs in Atlanta, so it might not have been exactly the life you would imagine. Plus, Carti always found his way into some trouble. Speaking on his childhood, he tells Complex, "When I look back at being young in Atlanta before this music, I just laugh. My ma couldn't tell me shit. Nobody could tell me shit."
Had to get up that, the inspiration was to get up out of Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And when I do go back home, have my shit together.
Jordan grew up listening to a pretty diverse group of artists, from Lil Wayne, Lil Jon, Michael Jackson, Prince, Young Jeezy, Kanye, Frank Ocean, and of course ASAP Mob, but Currency was his favorite rapper. And every day Jordan's older brother would drive him to school blasting Gucci. But he was also inspired by people outside of rap.
People that inspire me on my swag are not even rappers, more just you know, rock stars, actors, billionaires. You know, even females inspire me.
Carti rapped for the first time when he was a young kid at his grandma's house. The family loved it so much that they threw dollars at him and let him know that he had to keep going. Jordan attended Riverdale High School with former alumni including T.I. and Sierra, so he had some pretty successful people to look up to. Before music was his ultimate goal though, Carti had high hopes with his hoop dreams. In high school, he joined the basketball team and idolized players like Michael Jordan, T-Mac, Vince Carter, and his favorite player of all time, Allen Iverson.
Going, like, it was really hoop life with no rap. Like, I was really on the court balling, like really balling, been balling.
But after not liking to show up to practice like his favorite player and getting into a fight with the coach, he quit the team.
I was trying, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to make it out, you know, like everybody was, but you know, when I got older, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got into what I got into, you know, and then I ended up
rapping, you know what I mean?
So Jordan needed a new hobby, and his friends already knew how good he was with words, so they told him he should try writing some verses. He decided to go for it. At first, Carti was rapping under the name Sir Cartier. He made some songs on GarageBand, and even though he was just fooling around at first, his classmates knew that he had potential. And while he was not focused on college, his parents saw music as an exciting departure from what he could have been doing in the streets instead. And Carti's early music was good. In fact, it was so good, one of his friends asked Jordan if he could come over one day to record with local producer Ethereal. And Ethereal was very selective with who he worked with, so he must have seen something special with Carti. When him and Ethereal met for the first time, Jordan asked for some unique beats rather than the usual trap style, and they both decided that they were going to create some timeless music together, and they did just that. Their first song together was called Lost. Fat Man Key was also another early supporter of Carti, and together they all worked on developing a sound.
Was your music exactly what it is now? Has it evolved? Take us through it.
I feel like it evolved. It was the beginning of how it sound now, and I feel like people was just like, you know, whoever didn't rock with it then, it just had it, you know, like, oh, this is different, huh? You know?
Carti decided that it was going to be music above all. That included work and school. In fact, he almost didn't graduate because he was skipping classes so frequently. He did end up graduating, but he also graduated to new levels with his music, which included a new name. He dropped the Sir and created Playboi Carti.
I got 2 locations, home, studio.
Around this time, Carti was experimenting with flows and sounds, even rapping over the startup music from PlayStation 2. Carti caught the attention of Father, who started Awful Records, and they liked him so much that they brought him aboard to help him develop his sound. It was Carti's song Broke Boi that started making some waves online. The song was produced by Mexico Dro and now has almost 40 million plays on SoundCloud. Fetty is another early song that took off for Carti. Carti's first job was bagging groceries before beginning to work at H&M.
I don't want to work here no more. Just coming to the job, princess, look, like this. Like, yo, you Carti? Yeah, bro, that song you got fire. How long you been working here? That shit don't sound right, bro.
People were really gravitating towards him from some of his early online work, and 4 days into the job, he realized that he had to quit to focus on making music. Carti immediately left his hometown for the Bronx, New York, where he stayed out there with family. It was in NY that he became cool with one of the members of the ASAP mob, ASAP Bari, who took him under his wing. Carti also became good friends with Ian Connor after the two linked over fashion. And Ian didn't even know Carti rapped at the time, but it was Carti's relationships that would help lead him to the right places.
You know, I hang around like OGs or older people who know, you know what I'm saying? And I take that and run with it. And the people I got in my circle, I just, you know what I'm saying, pass it on. And we all grow together.
It all led up to him connecting with Rocky during South by Southwest in 2014. He told Complex, "I met Rocky at this house party and it was crazy. He told me he effed with me, bro. And after he said that, I was like, I gotta get out of here and get my swag up. It was lit. There was a bunch of bitches everywhere. It was life. The life I wanted was in the house right there."
And what was the first meeting like? Was it an office building, someone's house?
With some bitches.
At a bar or in a house? What was it?
It was just with some bitches, me and Flacco. That was the meeting.
Carti felt like the connection between him and ASAP was so powerful that he decided to stay in Texas for a while and hang around Rocky.
You see this? Rocky gave me this, babe. You know what I'm saying?
No man came to us to get lunch.
I'm blessed. I'm supposed to be here.
With Carti's buzz building from his online singles, he locked into the studio while the world awaited the release of his debut mixtape. But after dropping snippets and fans loving what they heard, no official release came. While fans not so patiently waited for him to drop new music, his rabid fan base created an unofficial mixtape called In Abundance, which ended up getting close to 450K plays on DatPiff. And I think most recently, one of his unofficial songs hit #1 on Spotify's top 50 chart. So the fans, if you're watching this and you're a Carti fan, you guys are legendary. Shout out to you.
Honestly, yo, I didn't come in the game trying to make a mistake.
But also give the man time to release his music on his own time. ASAP Rocky, who had been standing alongside Carti and heavily repping for him during the wait, announced that Carti had officially signed a deal with Interscope. Carti returned with Wokeuplikethis and Lookin, which held fans over until the official release. He began to be seen more in public though, doing good music pop-up shows, appearing in the Yeezy Season 5 fashion show, and modeling for Drake's OVO summer clothing line. I don't know why I said clothing line like that. Clothing line. Finally, on April 14th, 2017, Playboi would drop his self-titled mixtape, which hit #6 on the US rap charts and 12 on Billboard's Hot 200. Carti also connected with producer Pierre Bourne, and they created magic together. Magnolia was one of the songs on the tape, and it was also the one that took off.
When I made the song, it was more so like during the time I was, you know, I wasn't in the studio dancing. It was more so like, that's the move.
Also, let us know in the comments down below if you want us to do it Before They Were Famous on Pierre. At first, Carti couldn't even do the Millie Rock, but the song peaked at number 29 on the Billboard Hot 100 and took over the summer with everyone dancing to the song, which later went 2 times platinum. Since then, Carti's continued to grow his sound, his live performances, and he keeps dropping hits. His most recent album, Die Lit, even became one of the most referenced albums on Twitter over the past year as fans await the next project.
What I mean by Die Lit is more so just like, whatever you do, man, just do that shit to the fullest.
Exactly.
Because you never know when it could be over, and you ain't gotta be dead for it to be over.
Yeah.
As for the only people allowed to critique his work, Rocky and Uzi, and that's it. So don't be hating unless you're one of them. And we're still waiting for those songs with Frank Ocean.
Man, we did like 5 songs in. You know, it's Frank, you know, so he move how he move. You never know where he on, so.
Where are these songs at?
Well, they
with him.
I'm patiently waiting for those because Frank is one of my favorite artists ever. And I feel like Carti's just one of those guys that nobody hates. Like he's just all around a cool dude. Plus him and Uzi probably have thousands of unreleased songs, so hopefully we get those soon as well.
Yeah, that's all. You know,
I ain't gonna lie.
we what you call a mumble rapper. Just yeah. So you say yeah after everything and make it rhyme. It don't matter what it is.
There's lots to look forward to with Carti, but as for the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is Before They Were Famous. My name is Jeremy Hecht, and we make tons of bios for you here on this channel, so be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss a single one. Dream good, live better. I hope you have one heck of a day, and if nobody else has told you today, I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.